Land with space and a large sky. Rugged, gentle, hot, cold. A land of few people and long distances. Montana, a land of extremes. 1850. The major routes to the great gold fields of California and Oregon lay far to the south. Only Indians and a few itinerant trappers ventured north until gold. Gold discovered in the north. Gold in the valleys, in the streams, everywhere. 1860. 100 white men. 40,000. 143,000. 243,000. It was once Spanish. It was once French. It was once English. Now, it becomes one of the United States. One of the last. One of the biggest. But today, after 75 years of statehood, we've just 700,000 people. You can find as many people in 5 city blocks of New York or in any one of 17 other U.S. cities. 4 people per square mile. The U.S. average, 51. 16 cows per square mile. 4 times the number of people. 700,000 people. 40,000 foreign-born. $25,000 Indians. Blackfeet, Crow, Flathead, Cheyenne. And no Hollywood cowboys. Just Montana cowboys. 700,000 people who live in a land of extremes. 700,000 Montanans who all rely upon the Yes, the people rely. Men late to work. Ladies bustling to tea. Children riding to school. Tourists coming to see. Campers to glacier. Rockhounds to rocks. Grandsons to grandmas. Teenagers to bops. Lumberjacks out of the hills with timber for the mills. Miners tearing the ground. Copper, lead, zinc, silver to be found. Wheat to Wichita. Sugar to Kansas City Mo. Horses to Houston, Black Angus to Buffalo.
Yes, the people rely. Many must, because railroads, buses, and airlines are either too costly, too few, or too inaccessible. 13,000 miles of highway span Montana. Perhaps these roads are not as wide as those you find in California, nor as fast as Pennsylvania's. The reason is simple. We have fewer people, and as a result, less money. But we make what we have stretch. We have 3 highway systems. First, the interstate, a modern high-speed road, part of the national network. Then the primary system, consisting of major roads connecting our population centers. And finally, the secondary system. This is a state network sometimes called the farm-to-market roads. To better understand each system, let's examine some of the differences and similarities between them. Now, the interstate is planned with 2 things in mind: efficiency of long-distance travel and consistency of design. It has an overall road width of approximately 44 feet, including a minimum of 2 12-foot driving lanes in each direction of travel, an outside shoulder of 10 feet, an inside shoulder of 4 feet, and a median in between ranging from 8 feet on up. Maximum grades depend upon the type of terrain we're working with. In flat land, up to 3%, 4% in rolling or hilly country, and 5% in the mountains. Unlike the primary and secondary systems, access to the interstate is limited to periodic interchanges. The design standards for primary and secondary roads are largely determined by the number of people who will use the road and the projected cost of construction. If, for example, few people are expected, or if the construction cost is to be high, the road might be designed narrower. The minimum width for each driving lane, however, is 12 feet, with the shoulders ranging from 1 to 10 feet on each side. Maximum grades are about the same as those for the interstate, except in the mountains where the incline for the primary and secondary roads can be as much as 6% instead of 5%. In all 3 systems, the size of the fills or cuts varies hundreds of feet. At the bottom of each cut, extra room is always left as a safety precaution. Other safety features designed into all systems include signs, galvanized guardrails, edge striping, and delineators to aid night motorists. You know, Montana has a special safety problem. While more urban states have traffic jams, we have other kinds. Bear jams and cow jams. Many cars have been smashed hitting these animals. To avoid this hazard on our high-speed interstate system, we've modernized what ranchers, tired of ever-closing gates, devised a long time ago: cattle guards. Few animals risk crossing these for fear of breaking a leg. Rest areas. Historical markers. And scenic turnouts are scattered along all the highways. The interstate primary and secondary systems are planned and designed by state highway engineers. All plans and designs are subjected to strict federal control, however, through the Office of the United States Bureau of Public Roads. The actual construction of new roads, or the reconstruction of old roads, is done by commercial contractors who competitively bid on each contract. State highway officials remain close at hand to check and maintain design standards. In the last 10 years, 5,000 miles of road have been built. 660 miles of interstate, 2,000 miles of primary, and 2,300 miles of secondary. A new interstate is now being cut through the Hysham Hills east of Billings, an area full of badland ravines and small steep hills. A future construction project of considerable interest is the Jefferson River Canyon between Whitehall and Three Forks. It'll be a 4-lane interstate penetrating this narrow canyon bounded by extensive limestone formations. Wolf Creek Canyon was one of the most difficult design and construction projects because of its rock walls, that meandering stream, and cramped working quarters. Even more spectacular was the multi-million-dollar project high atop the Continental Divide just outside Butte. A 1-mile portion of this road cost over $1 million. The average cost of the interstate mile is $320,000. Often traffic entering a construction zone must be temporarily redirected. In solving this problem, we created another: women. Extremely effective in slowing traffic, but how to get the traffic moving again. In the construction area itself, one sees the gigantic equipment required to build roads here. Our contractors use some of the largest and most modern in the world. From the blasted hillside, 7-ton bites of earth are loaded into haul packs. Each 35-ton load is dumped to form the roadbed. Earth scrapers mold the roadbed. They get a boost from this Caterpillar Dual 9. 2 units hooked together, operated by one man. 770 horsepower, ensuring a full load every time. Meanwhile, stumps and other unsuitable material are removed. Earth scraped from this cut makes fill for the low spots in other sections. At the same time, drag lines prepare for the installation of a culvert. Now water is sprayed on the roadbed to make it compact. Other equipment helps the compaction. Materials found in adjacent areas are then added to the roadbed. Native rock and gravel are crushed, sized, and laid as a base for paving. The CMI autograder, using its space-age electronic sensors, brings the roadway to a fine tolerance. When concrete is used, automated pavers form the concrete into ribbons of pavement. The use of asphalt, however, is more predominant in Montana. It's a matter of economics. Hot mix plants combine heated gravel with asphalt. Which is electronically spread to the proper width and depth, then rolled to assure strength. Fencing and guardrails complete the road construction. Sooner or later, the roads must meet water, one of Montana's biggest resources. 35 billion gallons leave the state daily. Now this means bridges. We have three types: steel truss, steel beam, and bridges with pre-stressed concrete beams. Our long distances force contractors to either set up their concrete mixing equipment at the construction site itself or use ready-mix trucks, such as this one, carrying 10 yards of concrete and in this case coming from about 60 miles away. Unlike road construction, bridge work can continue all winter. Each structure can be wrapped with canvas with heaters inside to combat the cold. Now, in the past 2 years, we've built 35,000 feet of bridge at a cost of $15 million. While we have been responsible for the design and building of 13,000 miles of road and bridge, we only maintain about one-half, namely the interstate and primary. With few exceptions, the counties maintain that vast secondary system. Now, we really don't do it this fast. But this is one of the ways the state, with its 500 maintenance men, spends $9 million for a year's maintenance. But the maintenance man not only cleans. Each spring, when the earth returns to life, yawning and stretching, causing slides, earthquakes, and floods, it is he who must repair the damage. The smaller ones, the minor breaks, had always seemed to be the worst felt, for at years past left until warm weather. But now the heat-a-mixer enables repairs to be made the year round. The larger breaks require motor graders. Resealing the entire surface of an old road, well, that too is his responsibility, as is paint striping. Each of the maintenance divisions, and there are 11, has one paint striper. It carries 60 gallons of white and 60 gallons of yellow paint. To every gallon, 4 pounds of glass beads have been added. The glass increases night visibility by about 100%. The painting of center lines, passing lines, and edge striping costs $36 per mile. With summer comes the burning and spraying and cutting of the numerous weeds. And then, in the fall, preparations for winter must begin. Mechanics tear down, grease, reassemble all the vehicles. Chains and snow tires must be ready. And sand is stockpiled near hazardous locations. September brings the first snow, which quickly disappears, leaving beautiful Indian summers lasting until November, when the snow returns, this time in earnest. The war on winter cost $2 million, but the roads remain open and safe.
And the people rely. 700,000 people, Montanans, relying on 13,000 miles of road, important roads stretching flat, climbing high, historical road, modern road in a land of extremes. Roads designed and maintained by 2,000 men and 1,800 orange vehicles. Montana, oranges.